One of WWE's latest arrivals on the main roster, Solo Sikoa, has already been making headlines. The star made his debut at Clash at the Castle, where he interfered with Roman Reigns' match against Drew McIntyre, helping Reigns to retain his undisputed Universal title. Fans are yet to truly see the superstar. This is Wrestling Up, and we're talking about who Solo Sikoa really is. Solo Sikoa is out to make his mark in WWE and has a lot to live up to. He is well and truly a part of the Anoa'i family. His real name is Joseph Fatu, and while he has wrestled under the name Solo Sikoa in WWE, he has also wrestled as Sefa Fatu. His father is none other than the WWE legend Rikishi, and his brothers are the current undisputed tag champs Jay and Jimmy Uso. Being real-life brothers and not cousins with Jay and Jimmy, his chemistry with the two of them should be off the charts, which will again lead to helping the bloodline to become an even bigger force in WWE than the faction is right now. The young star has a lot to prove given that he is immediate family. While Jay and Jimmy Uso are both 37, Solo Sikoa is a lot younger than them and has most of his career in front of him. The younger wrestler is 29 and has already shown massive talent, which has landed him in the biggest faction in the company. At this age, it's understandable that the company didn't want him to remain in NXT any longer, as they were targeting NXT for even younger stars who need a great deal of development before they can make the jump. Often, WWE is accused of pushing wrestling families and saying that some stars get pushed just because of who they were born to. The same cannot be said about Sikoa. The star started off his wrestling career outside WWE. He wrestled as Sefa Fatu and wrestled in a number of different independent promotions, paying his due on the indie scene. During this time, he wrestled a number of top-tier stars and legends. He teamed with Jacob Fatu against the team of Davey Boy Smith and Mr. Anderson. He also faced Sean Daivari, Willie Mack, and in old school championship wrestling, he faced Carlito. While he wrestled outside WWE against multiple talented stars, that's not all he did. He was signed to the FSW Las Vegas promotion. In Future Stars of Wrestling, he took on Graves, who had held the Nevada State Championship for 258 days. However, his reign ended there as he defeated him at No Escape 2019. At the event, Rikishi was present to witness his son's first big title win. Not only that, he even got involved, taking the time to hit a stink face on Graves' manager, Sal E, making the moment even more memorable. Solo held that title for a considerable amount of time before finally losing it to Hammerstone, ending his 149-day title reign at the FSW 10-year anniversary show on June 23rd. Other than this, he also won the AWF heavyweight title when wrestling at the Arizona Wrestling Federation. He defeated Watson at AWF Overdrive and held the title for 418 days before finally vacating it on October 20th of 2020. It's important for any wrestler to have a solid base as they learn the ropes of what they want to do. That's what Sikoa had when he began training to wrestle. He worked under his own father, WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. The legend drilled all the tricks of the trade into him from an early point, always making him look like an impressive star. Sikoa also went on to train at the Performance Center with other WWE stars after he was signed to WWE. He was brought in as a part of the August 2021 group along with Tiffany Stratton, Bobby Stevenson, Gable Stevenson's brother, Ben Buchanan, and more. As a result, he was a part of a class that he has since thrived. While Tiffany has already made her name for herself in NXT, Sikoa is the best of his class and has made the biggest impact. Veer Mahan's real name is Rinku Singh Rajput. He is 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 276 pounds. He was born in Gopuganj, India. The star didn't have a cozy upbringing. Born in a village, his family's house was shared by his 8 other siblings and had only one room. His father also spent a lot of time on the road as a truck driver. While they had electricity, they did not have running water and relied on a nearby well. Early in his life, he was focused on sports and threw the javelin. Like a lot of young boys in India, he played cricket regularly. He went to Guru Gobind Singh Sports College in Lucknow, becoming a junior national javelin medalist. While he has earned global recognition since joining WWE, Veer was well known before that. In 2008, he entered an Indian reality TV show called The $1 Million Arm. It was by J.B. Bernstein, a U.S. sports agent. He, along with his partners, Ash Vasudevan and Will Chang, were trying to find the person in the country who could throw the fastest and most accurate baseball. At this point, Veer had not even heard of baseball. Despite 37,000 different participants, he threw the ball at 87 miles per hour, winning the grand prize of $100,000. Because of this, he was able to move to Los Angeles, where he trained with Tom House, a pitching coach. He did this against the wishes of his family and took the chance to learn English. Soon after completing his training, he was signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates, together with the runner-up of the $1 Million Arm contest, Dinesh Patel. In doing so, they made history as the first ever Indians to sign a contract with an American baseball team in the major leagues. They went on to play in the minor leagues, with Veer reaching the single A level. Sadly for Singh, he missed the 2013 season thanks to injuries. While he was invited to spring training by the team in 2014, he couldn't due to the Tommy John surgery, a procedure that takes a graft and replaces the ulnar collateral ligament in the elbow with a tendon from a donor. Unfortunately, injury woes continued in 2015, with him missing the season due to a broken elbow. That same year, he was re-signed by the Pirates and made one appearance for them in 2016, pitching a scoreless inning. Eventually, the time came to leave baseball. Thanks to the reality TV appearance, Walt Disney Pictures made a sports film called $1 Million Arm based on the show, which was on Veer and Patel. The movie was hugely successful, with John Hamm cast as the U.S. sports agent, Bill Paxton playing the pitching coach, and Suraj Sharma, who starred in Life of Pi, cast as Veer Mahan. Outside of wrestling, Veer is known for being an animal lover. He's posted pictures with different animals on Instagram, including a horse recently. He's also shown himself to be a capable archer, as we can regularly see him at the range. He was born Walter Hahn, wrestling as Walter, Big Van Walter, and Big Daddy Walter. He was also in Japan, where he used the name Gajaping. While he was Walter as NXT UK champion, he was brought up to the WWE main roster and would become Gunter, as the company does not want stars using their real names or those they used on the independent scene. Thankfully for him, that was the worst of it, because the initial plan for his name was something far more worrying. Coming from Austria, when WWE was renaming Walter, they filed a trademark application for the ring name Gunter Stark. Gunter Stark is the name of a Nazi U-boat commander who was sunk in the English Channel in 1944. Thankfully, when it came time for the name change, WWE caught the harsh feedback and called him Gunter instead. That was not all, as Bartel, who was later renamed to Ludwig Kaiser, also sent out a tweet at a time when it was still looking like Walter could be named Gunter Stark. He had tweeted the phrase Imperium over everything. Imperium was Gunter's stable back in NXT. According to a German pro wrestling site, Power Wrestling, this phrase was a reference to the first verse of Deutschlandied, which was used regularly back during the old days of Nazi Germany, as the tweet was soon deleted. Gunter made his debut in Westside Extreme Wrestling on May 4th, 2007. He would go on to defeat the likes of Zack Sabre Jr. and won the WXW Unified title. He joined several other promotions over the years, but remained in WXW in some form. Even when he was wrestling in other promotions, he was the head trainer at the WXW Academy. He would finally leave the promotion in 2020, but returned one more time for a match at their 21st anniversary event. Gunter is billed as coming from Germany, but he was born in Vienna, Austria. When he was 20, he moved to Germany since it had a better wrestling scene. He made the change because of his ex-wife's army transfer from Austria to Germany. Thanks to wrestling in Germany, he became popular and started to get offers in other countries like England. Having been wrestling for 17 years, Gunter is already a veteran, even though he is a newcomer to the main roster of WWE. He had his first match for an IWA Switzerland Explosion event in a tag team match with Sigmaster Rapu against Adam Pollock and Baron Von Hagen. He had to travel a lot to actually arrive to the show, but soon later he would leave Europe altogether as he went to Japan to train as a wrestler. After Gunter split from his wife, he started to date another NXT UK star, Jenny. They shared a picture of them on a date in 2021 and have been together since. Gunter had not wanted to move to the US as he had a house with his then wife in Germany. Soon after the split, he made the move. Before finding success in wrestling, Gunter had several jobs before becoming a full-time star. One was at a meat factory. He would later be put in charge of a food logistics company. The second job was much better, but eventually his love for wrestling won out. Xia Li came out of the spotlight when WWE visited China in 2016. She was spotted by Triple H, who revealed she had no clue about WWE when she came for the tryout. Hunter saw potential and offered her a chance in WWE. She was hooked and wanted to come to the United States. Triple H added there came a point where they were almost afraid to say no to her, with them feeling rejection would devastate her. In 2021, she became the first Chinese star drafted to the main roster and has continued to work hard ever since. Xia Li had her initial training in the Performance Center. After having matches on NXT, she turned to two former WWE stars, Tyler Breeze and Shawn Spears, at Flatback's gym. She trained under Breeze for 8 weeks, after which the former NXT Tag Team Champion taped a wrestling match with her and showed it to Triple H. Breeze's training paid off as Li was booked weeks after. She was soon set to become a part of the Tian Sha gimmick that helped her gain prominence. International stars have usually come into the company and made great friends. Xia Li has also made some great friends while working in WWE. Even though she does not speak English well, the language barrier hasn't affected her relationship with other superstars. It's no secret Li is good friends with fellow Chinese star Boa, with them a part of the storyline together on NXT. Looking at Li's Instagram, it's clear former NXT Women's Champion Kairi Sane is her best friend. Even though the Pirate Princess has left WWE, the two continue to share pictures and messages. Li has also revealed that she is good friends with former SmackDown Women's Champ Sasha Banks. Banks invited Li to her Christmas and New Year's parties before she joined the main roster. Before becoming a WWE superstar, Xia Li was training as a mixed martial artist in China. She co-founded a fitness studio to train other athletes, being a world traditional Chinese Wushu champion. Xia Li has also won the Nike Challenge competition in the first China Throwdown Battle on the Bund. Li's experience in combat sports allowed her to adapt to pro wrestling well. The Protector has appeared on Sheamus' YouTube channel to showcase her training. Li impressed fans with her strength, as she easily lifted Sheamus over her shoulders and did squats. Many WWE stars have spoken about the support they've received from their families. Others have told tales of struggle to reach where they are today. Triple H revealed Li's journey to WWE wasn't too smooth. Even though she impressed in her tryout, she feared being disowned by her family. Li was unsure how her family would respond when she made the decision to move to the United States to become a WWE superstar. Thankfully, it seems her family is behind her, as she shares photos with them online. Meanwhile, she has continued to impress the WWE Universe with her performances. Born in 1999, Hook made his first appearance in AEW in late 2020. He'd been waiting for his chance to enter the ring for a match for nearly 12 months. His wish was fulfilled in December 2021. Hook's impressive in-ring work turned heads. Wrestling runs in Hook's veins, with him being the son of former WWE and ECW superstar Taz. The former world champion helped his son enter the wrestling business. Hook has paid tribute to his father by using his finisher, the Taz Mission, to take out his opponents. He has simply renamed it Red Rum. Hook's talent speaks for itself, and not many will argue with the fact that he belongs in the ring. While Taz may have helped Hook get the initial push, it looks like he will go a long way based on his talent alone. Hook has been remarkable in AEW. Before making his in-ring debut, the young wrestler managed to get a share of the spotlight. Prior to becoming a pro wrestler, Hook was busy competing in a different sport in high school. The AEW star is a former all-state lacrosse player. For those who don't know, the game involves a ball that is thrown, carried, and caught with a long-handled stick having a triangular frame at one end with a piece of shallow netting in the angle. Hook ranked 74th in the nation as a lacrosse player. That's not all, as the young AEW star went on to play at the collegiate level for Bucknell University as well as Sacred Heart University. His record shows that he was quite a handful on the lacrosse field. Hook has a good background in athletics, as it could help him get better in the ring. Hook has been around on AEW for some time now. Even though he did get physically involved in rivalries, it took some time to compete in his first match. He is still very young and hungry to learn. AEW wanted him to get the best training possible. It was revealed that he was trained by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall at the Nightmare Factory, though that was not the first and only wrestling school Hook went to. Before coming to AEW, he went to Create a Pro Wrestling School. He was trained by former WWE star Kurt Hawkins, who is now working as Brian Myers for Impact Wrestling. WWE backstage producer Pat Buck also played part in training Hook before he made his AEW debut. All his training seems to have paid off, as he proved to be much better in the ring than many expected. Hook's father Taz would have also helped him get better in the ring. Send Hook, CM Punk called out the youngster not too long ago, and fans made several memes using that iconic line. However, it took Taz several months to send Hook into the ring for his debut match. He first appeared in AEW in December of 2020, aligning himself with his father right away. While it looked like Hook was about to see action, Tony Khan held the young star back, with him wanting to ensure Hook was ready to compete in the ring. Also, he wanted it to be the right setting. Hook made his debut against Fuego del Sol on AEW Rampage nearly a year after his initial on-screen appearance. Khan wanted Hook to make his debut in front of a large crowd and his hometown. He killed two birds with one stone by ensuring Hook got the debut he deserved. It looks like the AEW star has the backing of the president, so he could get a big push early in his career. Hook used rapper Action Bronson's The Chairman's Intent single for his AEW entrance theme. Bronson has spoken about the use of his single for Hook's walkout. The rapper revealed he is a longtime pro wrestling fan and grew up watching ECW and became a fan of Taz when he was young. Taz called to ask him about using The Chairman's Intent for his theme song. The rapper was more than happy to let the young AEW star use his single. Hook has made waves online since his first match. Satnam Singh was born as Satnam Singh Bamara. He was born on December 10, 1995. His family lived in a village of under 500 people, Balokhe, deep inside Punjab. His father played basketball due to his height, but was also a wheat farmer. Ironically, as a child, Satnam was named Chotu, which means little one. He spent most of his childhood on his father's farm, but soon outgrew the name. His father is 7 feet 3 inches tall, as is Satnam. When his incredible height became evident, it was clear he was meant for other careers. At 9 years old, Singh was 5 feet 9 inches tall. He was introduced to basketball, with his father mounting a hoop. Soon, the basketball would seem small in his hands. He took part in a lot of the youth academies, and at 10, he became a part of the Ludhiana Basketball Academy. There he learned the drills and skills required to play officially for the first time. In a surprising anecdote, when he was going to join the academy, he did not know that he was going to learn how to play basketball. For some reason, he was under the impression he was being sent to learn to play volleyball. By the time he was 14, Singh was 6 feet 6 inches tall. As he was playing, he got introduced to NBA stars like Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, and Yao Ming, whom he later mentioned he modeled his game after. He also had another idol in India's own Jagdeep Singh Bains. In 2009, Satnam helped Punjab win a gold medal in the National Youth Championships. He also represented India in the Under-16 FIBA Asian Championships. However, his breakthrough came later in Delhi. He was there for the IMG Reliance tryouts. Among 50 students, he was one of the few chosen and got a full scholarship to train at the Sports Academy in Florida. With him under experienced coaches, he impressed with his work ethic, size, and strength. He would go on to average 9.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks per game for the IMG in that season. In April 2015, he became the first player since 2005 to declare himself for the NBA draft in June despite not having college playing experience. He would be the 52nd pick of the Dallas Mavericks, becoming the first ever Indian player to be drafted in the NBA. He could not stick around in the league, but he was well loved by fans. He would be a part of the Texas Legends team for a while and played for St. John's Edge in Canada until 2019. Thanks to his journey in basketball, he gained a lot of mainstream media attention, and a documentary called 1 in a Billion was released by Netflix about him. His story featured talking roles from the likes of Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, as well as NBA officials Troy Justice and Adam Silver, as this showed him pursuing his dreams from a small village in India to be in the NBA. His basketball career might have ended early, but Singh took part in a WWE tryout in the Performance Center in 2017. He was hoping to follow in the footsteps of the great Khali, though he didn't end up getting signed at the time. In an interview, he talked about why he didn't sign with WWE then. "I wasn't ready then. I thought basketball was the best thing for me. I decided to wait for a while then." However, he later decided that wrestling was the best opportunity. "In the beginning, my focus was completely on basketball. When I wanted to move out of basketball, I thought wrestling was the best opportunity for me, because wrestling is very popular in India. That's when I decided to leave." While only recently appearing in AEW, Singh signed with the company in September 2021, with him training at the Nightmare Factory. Khan was personally excited about the signing. In addition to Satnam's commanding 7'3" stature, I was impressed with his high level of athleticism and charisma. He's an exciting addition to our roster, and I'm looking forward to our fans getting to know Satnam's personality and watching his development. Jungle Boy may be one of AEW's biggest stars, but he's also one of the youngest. He's already been active in wrestling for more than 6 years. It should not surprise fans to know that his real name is not Jungle Boy, because that would be a weird name for parents to give their child. His real name is Jack Perry, and he was born in Los Angeles, California. He's also had several other nicknames in the ring. He's been called the Jungle Boy, Nate Coy, and Johnny Drake, all in different places. The origin of his Jungle Boy name is also pretty funny. While he had been wrestling as Nate Coy, his fans noticed his long wavy hair and compared him to Tarzan. The audience, as a result, started to chant Jungle Boy at him. The chant was catchy and followed him everywhere he went, so he decided that he would use the audience for inspiration and changed his name officially. Jungle Boy's family is quite successful. He comes from a background of those in the entertainment business. His father was an actor, Luke Perry, and is married to Rachel Sharp. Luke acted in shows like Beverly Hills, 90210, Riverdale, and films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and many more. Jungle Boy's maternal grandfather is none other than Alan Sharp. Sharp is noted for being a screenwriter and has written several novels. Unfortunately, Luke Perry suffered a huge stroke in 2019. He then had a second one and had to be moved to life support. Despite this, he passed away at the age of 52. As a result, he never got to see Jungle Boy become the success that he is in AEW. Luke loved wrestling and has appeared in WWE in the past as a celebrity. It was his father's love for wrestling that inspired him to be a part of it, and it's why Jim Ross refers to him by his last name often, to pay homage to his father. Thanks to his father being a fan, Jungle Boy has had several WWE shows that he's attended. However, it was during the 2009 SummerSlam show that he was pictured on camera next to his dad. WWE was only looking to promote that Luke Perry was attending given that he was a celebrity. However, they also unknowingly gave their future opposition's top talent some limelight. Thanks to his popularity, Jungle Boy has been consistently featured in AEW over the years. He has been a part of almost every show, and thanks to avoiding injuries, for the most part, it has paid off. He has developed his talent over the matches, and it's easy to see for someone who saw his first match and has seen more of his latest work inside the ring. However, because he was used so often, he has become the wrestler to hold the distinction of being the first ever wrestler in All Elite Wrestling's history to have wrestled in 100 AEW matches. Tony Khan clearly trusts him, and it's showing more and more. Jungle Boy is not only successful in his in-ring work, but he has also been successful in maintaining a balance in his life. He is currently dating his co-worker Anna Jay. Fans were delighted and shocked when he dropped the news by putting out a picture of the two of them kissing. Given that wrestlers often spend most of the year touring and don't get to spend that much time at home, they spend a lot of time with each other. Thus, relationships within wrestling are rather common, and this happens to be one of them. They have been dating since 2021, and while their relationship is not portrayed on screen, they have been quite public on social media with it. Jungle Boy has not always been the best talker, and that's been evident more and more over the years. He himself has admitted that he's not the best on the mic. In fact, he has avoided it in the past. He said that he wanted to improve it, but so far he had tried to avoid doing it in the ring by running away from it. I'm not a promo guy at all. That's never been something I'm super into, probably because I'm not great at it, and I haven't done a lot of it. I can definitely feel that's a weak point in my game. I would like to improve that. Just be a better, well-rounded wrestler altogether. Every time they ask me to do it, I kind of duck and run away so I don't have to. A lot of people give me advice here and there. Actually, our producer, Jess Palumbo, has helped me a lot because she's there all day filming people. When the time comes to buckle down and get good at it, there are a lot of people who will be able to help. He has said that there will come a time he will have to improve, and he will. Given that he's supposed to be one of the top stars in AEW, this is something that he will have to improve in the next few years. Every star needs to be able to speak on the mic to some extent, and being able to do so will certainly help out a lot when it comes to Jungle Boy's position. Jungle Boy has inroads in Hollywood given who his father and grandfather were. As a result, it's not that surprising to know that he is in a movie after all. He appears in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. His father was also in the film. He was only an extra in the movie, and they will be able to see him if they look hard enough. He acts as an extra sitting in a chair in the background of a scene. The movie was a huge hit, so it's not a bad one to have in his filmography. Given his popularity and his success, he might be in even more movies soon if this continues. Braun Breaker's real name is Bronson Rex Steiner, with him previously using the ring name Rex Steiner. He is a second-generation pro wrestler, the son of Rick Steiner and the nephew of Scott Steiner. While his father and uncle made their family name famous, for some reason WWE has chosen to not let him use the Steiner name. Braun is exactly what WWE was looking for when they made the changes they did in their developmental brand. When WWE made the change from NXT to NXT 2.0, they announced they were no longer looking to find indie wrestlers and sign them. Instead, they introduced the NIL program, which would allow collegiate athletes to make their way directly to the company. While Braun was signed before that, he is the picture-perfect representation of the new idea of what a WWE developmental superstar needs to be. Born in Woodstock, Georgia, he attended Etowah High School. There he played football and got winning letters in 3 years. Even at that age, he started to participate in wrestling. He was quite successful, winning the Georgia Class 6A state championship in 2016. He would study in Kennesaw State University, where he majored in criminal justice and played for the Owls. He was playing as a running back and would later sign on to the Baltimore Ravens as a fullback in April 2020. In August of that year, he was released. While he didn't quite succeed at the level he was probably hoping he would, his accomplishments as an athlete helped him get noticed by WWE. Even before coming to WWE, Breaker was not a stranger to wrestling. He had grown up watching his father's wrestling career as well as his uncle. Soon after being released from the Baltimore Ravens, he made his debut for the WrestleJam 8 event in October 2020, defeating Jamie Hill. It would not be long before he was signed to WWE. Breakker signed with WWE in February 2021 with him beginning training at the Performance Center. It would be a long time before he had his first match in NXT, where he wrestled in September 14th. He defeated LA Knight and then stared down Tommaso Ciampa, who was the champion. While he challenged for the title, he was unable to win it at that time. He teamed with Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo to defeat Ciampa, Knight, Gargano, and Pete Dunne in a War Games match that was billed as Team 2.0 versus Team Black and Gold. In many ways, that match was the passing of the torch. Finally, he was able to win the championship at New Year's Evil, where he defeated Ciampa by submission. He would only wait 2 months before making his main roster debut when he was tied up in a feud with Dolph Ziggler. While Breakker is not completely done with NXT, WWE clearly sees potential in him. While most recall seeing Breakker make his main roster debut earlier in the year during the WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view event in May 2021, he was one of the many zombies who were acting as lumberjacks for the match between Damian Priest and The Miz. He has thus joined a number of top stars like CM Punk, among others, to have made his first WWE appearance as an extra during a match. Despite his family, Braun was not really a person who was into professional wrestling. While he took part in a variety of other sports, pro wrestling was not among them. Thus, his own father Rick Steiner never got to see him wrestle. However, all that changed at NXT New Year's Evil. His father was present in the front row and watched his son become champion. It was a surreal moment. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. It was just unbelievable. It still hasn't set in yet. It only happened 12 hours ago. That was really cool. My dad, it was the first time he's ever seen me work, and he sat front row. It was really cool. It was a moment. That's a moment I'll cherish forever. After the match, when NXT went off the air, he celebrated the win with his father in the ring. Tiffany Stratton is only her in-ring name. She was born Jessica Winilko and has become an important part of NXT. She has other nicknames as well, and is known for calling herself the Buff Barbie Doll. She is not too old now, and has most of her career ahead of her. She was born on January 9th, 1999, and is only 23 years old. She has blonde hair and weighs 143 pounds while standing at 5 feet 7 inches tall. Stratton is from Prior Lake, Minnesota, where she grew up with her family. She was the youngest child in her family and has an older brother, Bryce, who has found some success himself as a fitness trainer. Her mother was a homemaker. Her father is a businessman, and they are firm followers of Christianity. She is not married at the moment, and if she is dating someone, the knowledge is not public. It's expected that at the moment, she is single. She graduated from Prior Lake Christian Academy and then went to St. Catherine University. She loves spending a lot of time with her family members and shares pics with them quite often on her Instagram, which she treats as a blog, keeping everyone abreast of what's going on in her private life. With an older brother who is a fitness trainer, it's no wonder that Stratton has some athletic roots as well. She has always been into gymnastics. According to her post on Instagram, she started practicing gymnastics from her school days. She found a lot of success there and won medals regularly. Alongside gymnastics, she didn't limit herself and was also a bodybuilder. She participated in quite a lot of gymnastics competitions over her career. She was a part of the Elite Challenge in Colorado Springs in 2016. Also that year, she was a part of the Winter Classic in Battle Creek. She has won the U.S. Double Mini Bronze medal in 2016. She encountered a lot of positive as well as negative moments, as she stated in an Instagram post, but mostly found success. After a very long and exhausting week of competing at the US Championships, I made finals on all 3 events. I placed second on tumbling, and after a little hiccup on trampoline, I placed 7th. At my first senior national championships for double mini, I placed 3rd, and was named to the senior national team. So excited to see what the sport has in store for me in the future. She shared a lot of clips of herself on social media showcasing how good she is in her gymnastics career. She has also become the synchronized trampoline national champion, along with her friend. She's also been quite adventurous in the past. She posted videos of herself cliff diving and boasting about it, jumping off a 30-foot cliff. I jumped off the 40-foot one, but no one videoed it. As if her gymnastics career was not enough, she was also a swimmer and practiced diving regularly. She does, however, know how to make fun of herself, often posting some of the bloopers from her practice. When she was being hyped up to the WWE fans, Tiffany Stratton was being shown as being from a rich background and having a wealthy father. She was shown focusing on her father was labeled a daddy's girl, something that didn't go down well with the WWE audience. She was also showcasing her gymnastics ability. She was signed by WWE in 2021. Her signing was announced on August 30th, 2021. She had no wrestling experience before she signed with the company, which goes along the lines of what Nick Khan said in an interview about the sort of wrestlers that WWE was looking for. We want our system to be an easy system where people who want to be superstars, they know how to get to us, and we can get to them. It's going to have a whole new feel, and we believe because a lot of the indie wrestlers, if you will, have come through our system and are in our system with SmackDown and Raw now, we don't want to just keep doing that same thing. We want to look elsewhere for great young talent. While she made her in-ring debut on NXT 2.0 on December 28th, 2021, she had wrestled before. She had made her in-ring debut on 205 Live, where she defeated Amari Miller. On NXT 2.0, she debuted against Fallon Henley. Nikita Lyons is extremely young, born on August 5th, 1999. She's only 23 and has her whole career ahead of her. She was born in Las Vegas, Nevada. She didn't stay there long, as her family moved to Los Angeles, California, where she was raised. She was in Golden Valley High School for education early, and then graduated high school from her hometown in Nevada. From a very young age, she showed an affinity to show business and acted in several national commercials. When she made her debut, she took on the name Nikita Lyons, but that was not her real name. The American women's wrestler was born with the name Faith Jeffries. Since then, she has used several different names over her wrestling career. She was known as Nikki for a short time, and a while back, she used her name Faithy J. She was also known as Faith the Lioness. She is quite tall at 5 feet 8 and is fit with a physique that's perfect for being a dominant presence in women's wrestling. Lyons began training in Taekwondo when she was 5 years old. She earned her black belt when she was 8. She went on to train for professional wrestling much later in life. She began in 2018 where she started to train under Selena Majors, who is better known as Bambi. Bambi competed in promotions like WOW, WCW, and the AWA. She is best known for her feud with Medusa when she was in WCW. She then went on to debut for Women of Wrestling, a promotion where she made a mark as one of the top prospects, given she was quite young at the time. She wrestled there against the top stars of the promotion, Chrissy Vane, Amber O'Neal, as well as Tessa Blanchard. She also worked as an MMA and boxing coach, given her prowess in Taekwondo, and has done well for herself in that career. Most who make their way in the wrestling world are dependent on how they do in wrestling to figure out how the rest of their lives are going to go. Thankfully for Nikita, she is not completely dependent on her wrestling career to find success. In fact, she's already found success before she even started wrestling. She was a top 10 finalist in the very popular international hit show American Stars. She was there for her singing, dancing, as well as her ability in martial arts. The show was Chinese, but was broadcast to millions of US homes, meaning that she got a lot of exposure. She has her own YouTube channel where she showcased her talent as a singer and dancer. She had a video called Baby You, and official music video which she sings under the name Faithy J. When she was first set to appear for WWE, her singing ability was hyped in the vignettes, and she was shown standing with a mic. It remains to be seen if that becomes a part of her wrestling career. She is also a model, and has collaborated with a lot of brands in this capacity. As a result, according to Essentially Sports, her net worth is around $3 to $5 million. Should her career as a WWE star not work out, she certainly has other avenues to explore. Nikita signed with WWE in the tryouts around SummerSlam. She was able to make a mark on the coaches, and with her previous wrestling experience combined with the fact that she already had a fan following, she was quickly grabbed by the promotion. Talking to the media soon after signing, she elaborated on how she was signed. Literally 30 minutes ago, Triple H looked me in the face and said, "I want to offer you a contract. I want to move you to Orlando in the next 30 days. Can we do that?" I said, "Heck yeah, so let's freaking do it." No, seriously, man, oh my gosh. This is amazing, absolutely amazing. It should be noted that this was before Triple H's heart issues came to light, and he was a part of the program in tryouts. For her, the process certainly was not an easy one. In fact, there was a time there where she was in a lot of trouble during the tryouts. Thankfully, she broke through to a point where she was able to overcome her physical restrictions and find the next level. She went on to describe it. "Honestly, at the end moment, that ending hour, something came over me to where I didn't feel no pain. I didn't feel any. Like my adrenaline is so high. I was like, this is freaking it. You better leave it all on the line. You better do what you got to do because this is your life, you know." And that's what I'm saying to myself, in my head, running through those roads ropes, looking at the amazing coaches that have been helping me out. They're like exploding, you know, you got this. When I look at them, and when I looked at Triple H and he would nod, that gave me confirmation, and I hit those ropes even harder. And man, it's just absolutely amazing. Perhaps it was the fact that she went beyond what her physical abilities were supposed to be that allowed WWE to see her as the talent that she is, and sign her immediately. WWE sends a lot of talent, but that does not mean all of them succeed. With Lions, she has made the right start in her WWE career as her first match saw her go viral. She ended the bout with a pin by doing the splits. The picture of her pinning her opponent with the splits was circulated around the internet and made her one of the most popular stars in NXT. As a result, she herself was quite surprised by the reception and talked to WWE Espanol about it. I was still, did that just happen? I didn't look at my phone until I got home. I was fortunate to have my parents there, my man, a bunch of friends came. I was super grateful and keeping that in mind that people close to me came to support me. That means a lot. After, I talked to my coaches and got all that going. People in the back were telling me great job. I just kind of sat there and continued to watch the show. I didn't get out of my gear until the show was over. I don't even want to go to the locker room. I want to bask in this moment. It was beautiful. When I got on social media, I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting this reaction. A lot of people thought the finish was the split, but technically the finish was the tornado kick. The split was how I pinned her. That's part of it, and that's what went viral. I was so surprised by that. Before becoming Austin Theory, the wrestler was born as Austin White on August 1997 in Georgia. He is one of the youngest in the company and has been a full-time wrestler for less than 6 years. However, he had other focuses in his career before this where he found some measure of success. Long before being interested in pro wrestling, Theory was working out on a regular basis in 2009. He was only 12 when he started to train regularly. He was putting all his extra time into exercising and weightlifting to build his body. He used to work out at Metroflex Gym and even posted pictures with pro bodybuilder Arthur Reed. In 2015, his commitment to bodybuilding paid off as he placed first in the NPC Georgia Bodybuilding Championship in the teen men category. He was only 17 at the time. He believed in hard work and placing first in the competition gave him a huge confidence boost. He started his own hashtag Theories Coming and posted pics of himself regularly showcasing the success he had in bodybuilding as he prepared for the next step in his career inside the pro wrestling ring. After bodybuilding, Austin found a new dream, to make it in pro wrestling. He began training in the ring and posted pictures and videos of himself doing so. He still kept training at Metroflex Atlanta to be as cut and built as he could. He made his debut under the ring name Austin Theory, defeating AR Fox at a WWA 4 event. There he won the heavyweight title almost immediately after creating a splash with his debut on May 6, 2016. The win was a huge moment for him and got him noticed by others in the wrestling world. While Theory calls that his first match, it should be noted that Cage Match says he had a bout before this on Resolute Wrestling against Mike Cobb, which he lost. AR Fox was his coach as well, and was guiding him during this time. He was able to take a picture with a wrestler that he would have a feud with years later during this time, meeting Jeff Hardy at WrestleCon, and getting a lot of advice from him ahead of his debut. During this time, Theory made a cameo appearance in the movie Neighbors 2. Seth Rogen, Chograce Mortez, Rose Byrne, and Zac Efron's comedy film, Neighbors 2: Sorority Rising, saw the Radners living next to a frat and a sorority, which in turn was where Austin Theory was. He was a frat boy in a small, uncredited role. Throughout the time, he continued to compete in pro wrestling and chase his dream. By this point, he knew where he was going as he was looking to make it in WWE. In another uncredited role, he was a part of Fast and Furious 8. It's not clear if he actually made it on screen, but he was on set and filmed for it. He was also filming on the set for the series Allegiant of the Divergent. In a way, finding himself free of any contracts keeping him in only wrestling, he was in several videos during this time as well as the music video New Crush. Naturally, his acting and wrestling together was getting him noticed, helping him to advance in both careers. Given the level of success he has achieved, it can be safe to say that Theory is making it big in wrestling, but back in the day in school, especially middle school, despite being someone who was building his body, he was bullied. He said this gave him the motivation to work out, and the thing that was there to inspire him throughout was wrestling. I might still be deciding on a lot of things in my life, but one thing that is for certain is that I love this. Back in middle school when I was bullied, wrestling was there. When I needed the motivation to work out, wrestling was there. Now I'm in it, and I'm chasing it for the top. Before AEW existed, Austin Theory and Darby Allin were already out there wrestling on the independent scene. As a result, at only 24, he had wins over several top stars. One of his best victories came in his debut at Evolve 78 in 2017, where he defeated Allin in a match that lasted just over 5 minutes. Theory also made his debut at WWE in 2016, where he began to make his presence felt. It didn't take Theory long to make it in Evolve. In fact, he was the one who won the company's primary title, defeating Fabian Eichner and Roderick Strong in a triple threat match at Evolve 117. He went on to defend the title against Darby Allin twice, Raul Mendoza, and others, successfully showcasing he was one of the top stars of the promotion. On top of that, he was featured on the WWE Network at this time before he signed with the company. Thanks to Evolve's deal with WWE, Evolve 131 was aired on the WWE Network as the 10th anniversary special of the company. The main event featured Adam Cole and Akira Tozawa, but Theory was involved in a match earlier, defeating JD Drake in a winner-takes-all match for the Evolve and WWE title. He would eventually lose the Evolve belt to Josh Briggs and lost his WWE title to Joey Janela after he won it the second time from Keith Lee. Before he made it in WWE, Austin wrestled in Mexico, where he stayed for a while to gain experience. He made his CMLL debut in 2018 and won the Crash Heavyweight belt. He would wrestle in multiple other promotions, including Progress, Peach State Wrestling Alliance, and more. Even though he was not in WWE and was yet to make his NXT debut, Theory was seen as one of the top future prospects. He had been noticed, and the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine listed him as number 80 in its PWI 500 list for 2019. He was even ahead of stars like Keith Lee, Tyler Bate, and Sheamus. The fact was that before WWE, he was seen as someone who can make it big. When he was in Evolve, Paul Heyman acted as the ring announcer for his match at Evolve 131 and did the job like no one else could. Theory held the title up and took it in, later posting about it and said he would not mind hearing it more often. It was not just a coincidence that Austin was announced by Heyman. Heyman had seen Theory battle and had seen the potential he had in the ring. He handpicked him. He was also the one who replaced Andrade at WrestleMania 36 for the Raw Tag Team Championship match, despite not having that much time on NXT. Heyman believed in him, and having seen him perform had pushed him to the top. Theory would sign with WWE after taking part in a tryout in February 2018. He signed with the company eventually in August 2019. It didn't take long before he was featured on the main roster after a couple of NXT appearances. He would eventually return to NXT and worked with Johnny Gargano for a year, before finally going back to Raw recently. Before WWE, she wrestled simply as Storm. She then has taken on the name Toni Storm. Her real name, however, is Toni Russell. Her career has seen her wrestle across the world, and despite being young, she has more experience than many. Toni was born in New Zealand, but she would move to Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia at 4 years old. Storm comes from a broken family as her parents separated, leading to her move to Australia. Born on October 19, 1995, with her being a promising young talent. While living with her mother on the Gold Coast, Toni discovered WWE. Much like many children her age, she wanted to wrestle. Unlike many other children, she would soon become involved in the business. Many wait until they are 18 before they begin to wrestle. However, under the ring name Storm, Toni began to train at Impact Pro Wrestling's Australian affiliate before the age of 13. At 13, she made her debut. It should be noted that Australian Impact Pro Wrestling is not an associate of Impact Wrestling. The company allowed aspiring wrestlers to start training from the age of 12. She spent most of these years not only training but wrestling men. Talking about her time back then, Toni remembered it fondly, saying, "For a long time I was the only girl and it kind of felt like I had these big brothers beating me up. My first 2 years was mainly intergender wrestling. I think I wrestled about 3 girls. There wasn't much." Toni's mom would support her completely. During an interview with ESPN, Toni talked about the trouble her mother went through to support her dream. "She would pay my fee by selling hot dogs at these shows that they would run. I wrestled in a little shed. I wrestled in front of moms and dads. It was borderline backyarding, but it was still a company. I got started then, and it was ridiculous and a silly age to start, but I'm glad I did it because now I have all of this experience and that helps." Over the next 5 years, Storm continued to hone her skills and wrestled all over Australia, gaining a lot of experience before she was even 18. At a young age, she started wrestling in hardcore matches. With her getting hurt in these bouts, Toni realized this was not conducive to having a long career. It was mainly matches, but when I was 14 or 15, I did loads of hardcore matches. I wrestled with the guys most of the time because there weren't many girls. Street signs, chairs, all kinds of crazy stuff. Then I got older and realized I need to kind of save my body if I'm going to be doing this for a long time, so I stopped doing all that. But there was a time when I was growing up when I would do hardcore and death matches. At 18, Toni managed to convince her mother to let her move to England. Upon moving, she started to live with her grandmother in Liverpool. Then she started to train with Dean Allmark and only improved from there. She wrestled not only in the UK but all over Europe. She worked in a WWE tryout camp in 2014 as well during the Australian tour in Melbourne, and was a part of the tryout camp in the UK in 2015. While Storm's career started off with intergender wrestling, she continued to wrestle in these matches. One of the most notable was against Timothy Thatcher in New Orleans. It was one of the hardest matches of my entire life. He didn't go easy on me, and he's the nicest person I've ever met. He's such a gentleman. He'll take his hat off when he says hello to you. He's the loveliest, sweetest person, but he didn't go easy on me whatsoever, which I appreciated. I still do intergender matches occasionally. I love doing them, but now it's mostly girls. Storm has also got a very intense and hard-hitting style. Toni revealed that she found her inspiration in Japanese wrestling and talked about how Satomura and others inspired her. Women have done that kind of stuff for years all over the world. You only need to watch the Japanese wrestling to know how brutal it is and see that women can follow the guys. It's fine, we're just as brutal sometimes. You only need to watch a Satomura match to know how physical and how brutal it is. Women have been doing that for years, and now finally people are going to start seeing how we're tougher than the guys. Given her inspiration from Japanese wrestling, it's not surprising that Storm experienced a lot of success in Japan. While there, she received an enormous push in the world of Stardom, winning the SWA World title in 2016, and then became the first to win the 5-star GP in 2017, as well as the Cinderella tournament. On top of that, she won the World of Stardom Championship, which was the top title in the company, and held it for 258 days. Despite her success, she had to work her way up the roster and had a tough time getting acclimated to Japanese culture. Trying to translate the most basic things sometimes can be an all-day thing. Sometimes when the referee's trying to communicate to you, they try their best and you try your best. What I like to do is when I'm on the same tour as the other foreigners, if I can be ringside, I do, because if anything goes wrong and you're having trouble communicating to the ref, it's always good if there's another foreigner to help translate. Japan's very big on seconds being there with the water and the cool spray anyway, so I always like to make sure I'm there ringside and ask if they can be for me, because you don't want to have a broken neck and next thing you're trying to tell the ref what happened, but you can't. It's hard, but at the same time, sometimes not knowing what's going on is nicer. As mentioned, Toni tried out for WWE twice before getting signed. She ended up failing to be signed in 2014 and 15, but would not have to wait long as she was signed during the first Mae Young Classic. Progress was one of the biggest indie promotions to rise up in the mid-2010s. She was a part of the promotion and was crowned the first women's champion in a triple threat match against Jenny and Laura Di Matteo. She earned her way into the title bout going through the first women's natural progression tournament where wrestlers like Tegan Nox, Chakra, and Bea Priestley competed. Upon winning the belt, Storm took the natural position as the face of Progress women's wrestling division before going with WWE. In 2017, Toni was announced as a part of the first Mae Young Classic. Unfortunately, although she won in the first few stages, she was eliminated in the semifinals by Kairi Sane. Talking about the experience, Storm said how much it meant to her. That was nerve-wracking. I was out doing all the tapings, all the interviews, and getting ready for it for about 10 days in Orlando. It was just 10 days of nerves. I was terrified. It was so nerve-wracking because it's WWE, it's the top place, it's where I've always wanted to be. I nearly had a heart attack. The next year in the 2018 Mae Young Classic, she was able to win and defeat Io Shirai in the final. On NXT UK, Toni Storm lost to Rhea Ripley in a match that was meant to determine the first NXT UK Women's Champ. Unfortunately for Storm, Ripley won and became the inaugural champion. She would not have to wait long, however. 4 months later in January, Toni Storm defeated Ripley to become Women's Champ, before losing to Kaylee Ray after a 231-day reign. Even though she was on NXT UK and Women's Champion, Toni was allowed to wrestle for other promotions, competing against ICW's Kaylee Ray and wrestling in WXW Stardom and Progress. Toni Storm came out as bisexual on NXT's Instagram story as a part of Pride Month, with her saying, "So when it was announced I would be taking over the Instagram for Pride Month, I noticed a lot of people were like, Toni, are you just ally? Are you in the community? What's going on here?" Well, I guess now is a good time to say both. I'm an ally, and I cannot exactly say that I'm straight. I'm bi, and it feels good to say, and it's something I've been comfortable with for a long time. I just never really expressed it. I don't know, I just never really found the right time, and it's Pride Month and I'm on your Instagram, so now's a good time, I guess. Storm was on Lillian Garcia's podcast talking about how she was a fan growing up, but unfortunately her popularity came with her suffering from various issues. She suffered a hack and private mediaverse was leaked, which caused her to delete all her social media. I just shut down because I noticed stuff that had leaked because I was already kind of in a bad place mentally. I always really struggled with depression and anxiety. I've never really spoken out about it. I don't know why. There's not really any reason for it. I'm not sure why I suffer from it, but a lot happened growing up where I lost my grandfather and there was a lot of drama with my family. She had a history with mental health issues, so the leaks brought all that to the forefront. At 16, I was diagnosed with anxiety. When all that came about, I was already struggling. I was like, I don't want to know about any of this. I didn't want to face it, so I just one day, I was like, the hell with this. I didn't want to be seen, I really didn't, because I was completely humiliated and ashamed. It was awful, and I didn't even know who to turn to. If you're all having a great day, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.